Oh, hello there, and Happy New Year, if it's not too late to say that. Put in there with our podcast 6. Right, we are talking about Nant Mithil.
Yeah, so before Christmas, perhaps just the end of November, we did an interview with John T. Colchester, the chair of CPRW, and one of the main issues that came up in that interview was the Nant Mithil application from Butte Energy, which is with PEDU at the moment. And there's been a development since that podcast. So before Christmas, it was announced by PEDU that they were going to suspend the application and then reopen it in January. And I think it was understood this was because they had been swamped by objections, literally hundreds and hundreds of objections to this, and needed more time to process the objections. And interestingly, they have also said that they are consulting with 3 public bodies. Shropshire Council, presumably because these monstrous turbines are visible.
200 metres tall.
Yeah, exactly. So all the way from Shropshire, you can see these things. The Georgian group, which I think has responsibility for conservation of landscapes, local landscapes from the 17th, 18th centuries. So that's also a consultee. And also Banno Breceniog National Park, Brecon Beacons National Park, because, of course, these turbines will be very clearly visible from the Brecon Beacons National Park. So there's increased consultation with public bodies. And so the important message for everyone is the window of opportunity is now open again.
Yeah, and it's back, isn't it? The weather, we were talking, we described a brilliant website that you can do your objection through, which doesn't involve any kind of knowledge or anything. You just need to want to object, and you do it and spend a bit of time on it, and it can be done. We put the caption up.
Yeah, exactly. Object Now portal. So definitely use that. And you've got until the 16th of February. So please, if you haven't put in an objection and you feel strongly about this and have personal views, please do prioritise that over the course of the next few days.
And just to say about the Nant Mithil wind farm, wind park, whatever, it's 31 up to 200 metre tall wind turbines we're talking about. That's what the application is for.
Absolutely. Yeah, some of them I think are going to be 230 metres.
Wow.
Yeah, and with these terrible flashing lights as well on top. Yeah.
Okay. So moving on from that. There's a date for diaries, and that's the 11th of February. Tell me about what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely, Andy. Well, on the 11th of February, there will be a demonstration outside the Senedd against the industrialisation of Wales as a result of these energy parks and as a result of pylons. And this is really important. So there's been a lot of talk over the course of the last 18 months about doing something like this. And the moment has come, and it has been timed for the 11th of February, midday, because in the Senedd on that day, there is an agenda for climate change, environment, and also there's an infrastructure committee meeting taking place. So there is relevant business taking place in the Senedd. And we would like, everyone involved with this would like a very loud noise and impact outside the Senedd to make our views known. And also, immediately following the next day, the 12th of February, the Senedd goes into recess until the 23rd of February. So if you put this in the context of the May elections ahead of us, this is, I'm sure, the last opportunity we have to protest in an effective way, and I think it's going to be big.
Well, it looks like that so far, isn't it? I tried to make a list of the places that are sending buses, and it's looking like there are about 8 buses at the moment. So we're a little bit ahead of it. So that will no doubt increase. So it's a trip to Cardiff for 20 quid and a bit of protesting, and it's very, very, very important that this is done to show all, not just the present Welsh Labour government. It's to show all of the politicians that are wanting to be voted for in the elections in May.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there will be a lot of media coverage. We certainly know ITV Wales is going to be there. I'm sure there will be other channels will be there too. I think you and I are going to try and do our bit.
We will do
on the day.
Exactly.
So don't miss the opportunity. There is on Facebook, there is a group has been set up called Protect Wales Protest at the Senedd group. That's the Facebook group. So you could look that up and join that, or ask to join that. Otherwise, get in touch with your local campaign groups, because I think they are all getting involved with this.
We need numbers on this, and you might meet some new friends.
You might do. I mean, we know that there are going to be hundreds there already, but it's tempting to think, oh, well, lots of other people are going to be there and therefore I won't go. But if everyone took that view, then it wouldn't happen. So I think the point you're making is very valid. Everyone, if there's a chance you can create a space in your diary, get down to Cardiff on that day, it would be fantastic.
Put the word around.
Yeah.
Moving on, since Christmas and the New Year holidays, there have been a couple of announcements.
There have one which was pretty hollow, and the other which was much more meaningful. The first one, the hollow one, was an announcement of £600 million being invested from the Copenhagen Investment Partnership, CIP, into Wales for renewables and Butte Energy, Green Gen specifically. Now, I think you and I have talked about this. We're not quite clear. Is this the same 600 million that has already been announced? I can't believe it's another 600 million. But it's pretty hollow. Eluned Morgan made much of this at the time. And the thing that gets me annoyed time and time again on this issue is they're saying, look at all the jobs that are going to be created. I think they're talking about 2,000 jobs being created because of these renewable energy projects. And of course, it's not like that. These are short-term jobs, they're construction jobs. And once these things are up, the jobs will just go.
And the other thing is that most of those jobs will come with the turbines that have been bought from the place that they've been bought from, which is where overseas, not Wales.
No.
So that any jobs such as there will be in the two figures rather than three, and they will be jobs like security, fencing. They're not the high-end sort of technical jobs.
No. So all this idea of it's great inward investment into Wales is nonsense. And we're becoming a renewable superpower. Wales is a renewable superpower. Well, honestly.
Well, I'll just repeat the thing that we know about. It's really sort of well documented that Wales already generates enough wind energy for itself. So this is something about turning Wales into a place to make wind energy for somewhere else, not here.
No. So they're all pretty desperate stuff. And Green Gen have got their backs against the wall at the moment. We'll talk a bit more about that in a moment. But the other announcement was much, much more significant. And this came from the UK government, and it was announcing the results of the latest bidding round for offshore wind. And this impacts Wales, particularly because there are sites off the north coast of Wales and also off the southwest coast, off Pembrokeshire coast with Celtic Sea, Irish Sea. So this will create jobs for Wales, definitely. And I think, as we've explained in previous podcasts, we're much more in favour of offshore wind than we are onshore wind, for reasons that we've already discussed. So this was significant, and the bidding was oversubscribed. So I think it indicates in the marketplace, in the energy marketplace at the moment, that these investors are keen on offshore. And we know that they're less keen on onshore, and that it seems to me that onshore is sort of going out of fashion, while onshore is still very much in fashion. And of course, we are world leaders in offshore wind. So I thought it was very positive and very helpful. And I think in due course of time, it will undermine these plans for onshore energy parks.
Yes. Well, the thing about it is that all of these onshore energy parks, as we've said before, they're in crazy places in the middle of nowhere. They involve huge runs of pylons and cables to get the electricity that's been generated to anywhere where it's needed.
Whereas you can bring offshore energy straight into the grid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so I think, well, on my list here, we've got one big story left to talk about.
Yeah, so it was announced, I think, was it day before yesterday? We're Thursday today. I think it was. The Justice for Wales hearing in Cardiff at the High Court was a success for the Justice for Wales cause. So permission has been granted for the judicial review of Green Gen's behaviour to proceed.
Right.
And this is really significant and important. And at the same time, Green Gen have agreed not to do any more surveys, not to access any land until the conclusion of the next hearing. The date is yet to be announced, so we don't know when it'll be, but this is a victory, a first victory for the Justice for Wales group. Now, we are going to do a bit more on this in due course. I don't think we're going to comment more about this on this podcast, but I think it's certainly worth us announcing or making this public to our viewers and listeners because it's really great news.
Fantastic. Where do we go from here?
Well, I tell you just that I think we're nearly done actually, Andy, because it's a short podcast. It's just bringing people up to date and particularly focusing on the Senedd demonstration and Nant Mithil. But I just thought just a quick comment on James Evans, member of the Senedd, Conservative member of the Senedd, not anymore, because James Evans has been a great campaigner against these energy parks. Because he's an MS in Paris. Paris very badly affected by the energy parks. So he has now been basically sacked from the Conservative Party because apparently he has been in conversations with Reform. Just caught in the news today, speculation, maybe he is being primed as a potential leader of Reform Wales because they have no leader at the moment. I don't know, speculation. But it does seem that he will be shifting across to Reform. But watch this space, interesting developments there. But he's been very effective in supporting the cause that we are campaigning for.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's it. So just a short one today, and then I think we'll be back on air next week, perhaps.
Great stuff.